Hello, I'm Leisa Holland-Nelson, co-host of Culture Club HTX, and so excited to be here today with my co-host,
Shavonnah Schreiber. And if you notice, we're in different seats. We just want to keep it fresh.
Yeah.
Usually you're over here.
I know I changed because I have
your
cup of coffee.
You need to reach. You need arm distance.
I just needed it close in case I have an attack while we're recording. Hi, everybody. I'm a little tired.
That's okay. Well, and we're here with one of our friends and
a good friend. We've seen a lot of her lately.
I know. I'm excited. I'm not. I'm like a part of the fam. I'm the Culture HTX ambassador right now.
And we were just at your book launch last week, and now we're here to double click, as I like to say, on you, the process. Tell us all the things. Alexis Moore.
And before she starts, of course, I have something to say. This is always what I do. But everybody knows that June is National Fitness Month.
Oh, right.
Yes.
And we're kind of heading toward the end of it, which I'm so sad about. But I don't know what's more important to your fitness than emotional wellness.
Yes.
You've been a physical coach, trainer, but you're also a life coach and this incredible book. So I just want to kind of put out there that this is a big part of our fitness and fashion month.
Thank you so much, Lisa.
Yeah.
And you're officially the last Friends by the Fireplace for Fitness Month.
You did well.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Friends by the Fireplace for Fitness Month?
Yeah. But it's not because I'm professional. So this is great. So we are marching to the end last week. So here we are. So let's talk about this. Lisa just mentioned you are a woman of many hats. I call you a Renaissance woman.
Thank you.
You have blended roles. So business owner, author, mother, softball coach, wellness coach, personal trainer.
Is she an All-American?
She probably actually is an All-American.
Of course, in life. I'm a life All-American.
That's my new thing. But talk to us about some of the techniques that you use to juggle all of your responsibilities.
So one of the most important things for me that I use now is time block. Like I have to set aside time where I'm working on the franchises and then where I'm doing coach stuff, mom stuff, and then where doing at the time when I was writing, right? So I would time block and make that, whether it's in the morning, and don't forget I have to work out, right? So my workouts would always come at 5:30 a.m., right? 6 a.m. to where I had time for everything else, right? And when you make yourself a priority and work out first, then in family, kids, job,
community, whatever
won't come in between your you time. And that's where that you came from. Like you have to make yourself a priority and nothing is coming in between that. My family knew, friends knew that if I didn't work out, I was no good for anybody else. So that everything kind of started with time blocking.
That's so interesting. Where did you find time? Did you create time blocking yourself? I mean, I know about a million different time management systems, but did you create your own, or did you take a course, or how did you?
I just created my own after I left corporate America. My degree background is accounting, right? And with the accounting, you always have end of month close. You always had these time schedules where you would work on things. And so after I left corporate and came to an entrepreneur, I kind of brought that over with me and said, hey, the only way you're going to manage these stores and manage your life is creating time blocks and blocking it off. That's the only way.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit more about time blocking, but more specifically as it relates to the writing process.
Yes.
So many people talk about wanting to write, whether it's a book, an article, a newsletter, etc. And they say, oh, I want to write, but I don't have time. And I can't figure out how to fit it in. And you just said that you created the schedule. You were time blocking. You had writing when you were writing the book. So talk to us about the actual writing, pen to paper, or, clicks to keyboard, whatever you want to call it, of the book. What did you do?
So I'm one of those. I'm a big note taker, right? And so in my phone, I would use the actual notepad. So whatever came to me, whether it was the chapters, what went in the chapters, I would put it in the book. In my notepad in my phone.
Yeah.
So I'd have a book chapter in my phone and then the chapters, and whatever came to me, whether it was driving, walking, working out, I would literally stop and put it in my phone. I believe that when you're writing a book, or when you say you want to write a book, a lot of people have to go off, right? Go somewhere, go on vacation, go isolate yourself. When you're running your store, when you're a mom, coach, all the above, you don't have time to really just go off for 2 or 3 months and just say, I'm going to write. So I just found time to put everything in my phone. And then I would transfer it from my phone. Once I got home, I'd sit down, transfer it from my phone to my computer. And I would then, what they called,
organize it
from there.
Well, it's interesting because I think the reason that people don't write is because they believe this idea of you have to go away somewhere. So for example, so I write, I haven't written a book yet, but she will.
Yes,
but I write like articles, things like that. And I do this, I dictate when I'm exercising. So I'll think I have an idea and then I'll just dictate it. Sometimes it comes out a little wonky, but for the most part, then to your point, I can go back and copy paste and then actually type out.
Right.
But because most people don't have the luxury of going away to write. I mean, you have a whole life that you're living and things that you're doing.
Right. For me, the memory. I mean, everybody who knows me knows that I can say it once.
Yeah.
So if something's coming to inspire me, this is horrible to say, but we can talk about it today. My husband's eulogy that I wrote, I did it in the gas line at Costco.
Like the petroleum in your car?
I was waiting to get gas at Costco and I just recorded it. And I barely changed 2 words, but I did it in my notepad.
Right.
And I just recorded the whole thing, what I thought. And it was exactly what I wanted to say. Could I say it again? Not without the notes.
Yeah.
I mean, and most people, you've got this great inspiration once.
That one time. And you're so right.
It.
You have to put it down, right?
Yeah.
Right then, in that moment, record it, write it. Cause like you said, it may not come back to you. And then you're searching because our memories, right? Yeah, we have them for a short period of time sometimes, and you can go back. But sometimes when you go back, it's not there.
Right. And I like this idea. And I think anyone who is watching this should take note of this point. If there is something you want to say, whether it's a book, a eulogy, a love letter, whatever.
Yeah.
Don't wait until you have the perfect moment, all the time. Use your notepad on your phone.
Yeah.
Use the technology to help you and support you to make sure you capture the ideas. You can always refine it, but it's the initial spark, that initial inspiration.
Right.
It came to you in Costco.
I couldn't believe it. It was like the day before the funeral and I was filling up my car and I just had not been able to sit down and I hadn't even thought of what I really wanted to say. And all of a sudden I'm talking to myself and I went, wait a minute. And I just talked into the phone. And I really didn't, I maybe changed an adjective, but I didn't change any of the essence or the sentences or anything from that first pass. I'm very much a believer that your first pass is your best pass.
I think so.
When you start fixing it,
it'll never come out right.
It's just not the same.
Well, it's the same. The authenticity, I think, is lost.
For sure.
So you use your notepad. I love that. Using technology as a tool to help you. So you use your notepad and then you would go home and transfer it. So then how long did the total process take? So I know it was years that you had the inspiration for the book, but when you finally started to write these notes down, like how long did it take for you to get a book?
It took about a good 2 years for me. And that too came with the writing it down, finding the isolation time, right? Because when you think you want to write, and that's one thing that I learned about writing is I felt like when I sat down, I had to write for an hour or I had to write for for a long period of time. When in reality, it's like the elephant, you take small chunks. So I wouldn't say I'm going to sit down and write for an hour. I would say I'm going to sit down and write 15 minutes. And then that would lead to an hour.
Yes. Because
I would get down and I would get into the flow. And at first it just seemed so overwhelming. How am I going to write this book? I don't have the time. But when I started breaking it down and not making it bigger than what it was, it just started flowing. And when I would sit down and write, it would come to me.
You know what? And this makes sense. So I will share something that people don't know. So we've been friends for, 400 years. Yeah. And I remember when you finally finished and you were like, I got to get the book out. And I was like, whoa. We have time. But now this makes sense because it had been years in the making.
Mm-hmm.
And so it does feel like, okay, now I'm finally done. Whereas in my mind, it was just like, okay, you start writing the book and now like we have time, but you're like, no, I'm publishing this month. This is what's happening. So, and that's what you did.
Yeah.
So 2 years, you write it. How did you feel? So once you found your publisher, who we met at the book launch,
and they're wonderful. They're
They were
like, you
very
have
good.
like this agent publisher, I guess, who supported you through this whole
Yes,
process.
yes.
That makes a big difference too.
Absolutely. You got to have a support team system. And so for me, it was, and then once I finally finished the book and got it done and got the book out, it was for me like a breath of fresh air in a sense. It was the only thing I compare it to. If I died tomorrow, that was the one thing in my heart that I felt like I had to get out.
Yeah.
That if
you wanted to leave that.
There are certain things that I feel like that God gives you or whatever you believe in, that when you carry it with you, it's like a heavy weight, a heavy load. I'd opened up 2 franchises. I'd been coaching 7 years, and through all this, I still knew I wanted to write a book like 10 years ago. So it was like a weight that never left me, and I felt like I had to get it off. So when it was done,
like, we're publishing
this book now.
I'm like, wow, okay, everybody relax. You're like, no,
but it really is a genuine act of community service for me. It wasn't really something that I felt like, we talked about this, when you release something, how many you want to sell? What do you want to do? Then I was like, I don't care. I don't know.
Right.
I never thought about that. It genuinely was to get off my chest.
And to help other people. It's
to help others. Yes. Thank
you.
you.
You have a workbook on top of the book, which was a big surprise to all of us
last
week to see that. So it really is a guide and an assistance tool for those of us wandering through life.
Thank you.
How's that?
Well, what is it saying? All who wander aren't lost. So
no, I'm not.
Some of us should. I just like to wander.
I'm just wondering.
Yeah, me too. But wandering is fun. Okay, so let's talk about your sort of in service. I love that, in service to mankind. Like, I'm going to write this book. One, it's cathartic for you because it's this accumulation of all these experiences, all the lessons. Okay, write the book. Now release it. It's out in the world so people can read it. Yeah. What did you want, or what do you want people to take away? You want people to read this book and walk away saying what?
Saying to themselves, all my insecurities are smaller than what they seem to be. I call it my insecurity prayer. It's the allow me to become so secure in my insecurities that I don't see them. Right? Because we always tend to make the minor major.
You sound like John Mitchell.
And so that keeps us.
She's our trainer. That's what he said. Major in the minor.
Yeah. And that will keep you in your comfort zone. It'll keep you in your little small box. But like you were saying earlier, it's so much life. And sometimes, you do have to wonder in it to even see what else is out there for you to even go and get. And I just call myself a life connoisseur. I love life. I love being outside. I love exploring, So the book was really understanding that once you face your fears, everything you want in life is on the other side of that. And so fear for me always stood for facing every area of resistance. And I put that in the book too. When you face the resistance, it's so much freedom on the other side of that, whatever that is for you.
So talk to us a little bit about like some of the things that you had to overcome from a fear standpoint.
From a fear standpoint for me, what is one big, huge thing, and one was my stutter. I used to stutter really bad. My dad stuttered, sister stuttered. Uncle stutter. So for me, it's one of those things that it was a generational pass down, but you have to learn how to live with it and not let it live within you in a sense, or for me to take over my life. And so really writing the book was freeing from a speech impediment standpoint. And I wanted other people to know too, that even with having a speech impediment and a stutter, there's still life beyond that. It doesn't define who you are.
Did the president of the United States having a stutter make a difference for you?
I was about to ask, are you in my brain? I literally was about to ask, well, probably. I was about to ask that. Go ahead.
But I'm serious. I mean, I know it's made a difference for so many kids out there.
Right.
That he, you know, and he still does. I mean, people criticize him, but he's stuttering. He's not losing his train of thought or anything like that.
It is. It's very empowering.
Yeah.
That you can say it does give us people that stutter hope in seeing people out front as the president, as, you know, Steve Harvey, as, you know, many other, the Astros, what's the I can't think of his name, the ex-Astros player. He's really good. Played shortstop. Can't think of his name. Oh my God.
Is he retired?
What's his name? Correa?
Not Correa. Before Correa. I can't think of, why am I going blank? I'm a support.
Because you're losing, actually. So we don't even know anyone.
I can't think of his name. Oh my God. Okay. Well,
we'll put his name.
Yeah, we'll put his name. Yeah.
We'll put his name in the super.
But he does, Stuttering Foundation here, and he had a big bowl thing. I can't think of it. I can't think of his name right now. But just seeing the influence that people have of certain status, and then they give it back, showing people that still hope is definitely, like you're saying, inspiring, even for me still yet. And it was, I think I was out of college before I even met another woman that stuttered.
You said that.
Like I had never met another woman, period, my whole life until I had graduated college that stuttered. And
you know what that makes me think about? Because you've said that. I've heard you say that before. It makes me wonder if, in fact, you hadn't, or if women you met were afraid to talk. Like, you know what I mean? To your very point. Like, maybe in your whole life and all your adventures you have, but they were quiet. They let it silence them, so you didn't know.
For sure.
Like, I wonder that. Like, I think, because every time you say that, I wonder, like, is that true? Or is this the whole point that you're making, where people are afraid and so they just don't say anything?
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It's a combination I believe, both, right? It's when you think about it too, public speaking is already a number one fear of people in general that don't stutter or have a speech impediment or anything. Right. So those that do, it really is an extra. And I have to put myself in position to speak, or you'll be held in isolation, basically within.
Well, and I think that's part of your unique perspective, because like you said, well, one, just speaking publicly in general is something most people are afraid to do, period. Then you add on a speech impediment and overcoming that, like you said, just having to work through all the driving through a fast food place and ordering, right? That was one of the things you've done. And then what about the perspective as a business owner too? Because you had to pitch to Smoothie King, right, to even get the first one. And I remember we ran into each other in the airport, and you were on your way to like Smoothie King University or something.
The training for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I remember that. And so, but you had to apply. It's not like you just get it. You had to apply. So you had to give a presentation to sell you and your sister on your ability to have this franchise and manage your brand well. Right. So that's a huge presentation. That's not just a presentation. That's like a presentation.
You have to sell yourself for sure.
And you had liquidated your 401k in order for this opportunity. So it's a lot on the line.
Yes.
So how did you, like, from just walking us through that, like, what was the self-talk? Because I'm big on personal leadership.
Absolutely.
And self-leadership. So what did you say to yourself when you're like, okay, this is happening. We're going for it. And we have to go talk to these people, and they have to say yes.
They have to say yes.
I don't even think about him saying no.
Yeah. There was no going back. It was a for sure that I had been in oil and gas 10 years. And now it really was me betting on myself, right? Me and my sister betting on ourselves. And it was, I think, which is what drew us together as friends, is that self-talk and the motivation, because we really had to. I actually myself took the business plan, went into the bank and said, this is why I need $500,000. Like, this is what we have to offer. This is what we have to give. We're new franchise owners, but my work ethic and history shows that we can do this. And it's betting on yourself. But then that comes with the work, right? With working on yourself, in yourself, And I heard someone say too before recently, it's not about the enemies, it's about the inner me. The inner me, the conversation.
Right.
It's always like the book that it's you versus you at the end of the day. Like at the end of the day, it's you versus you in that conversation.
It's that
daily.
Crazy agita that starts, and whether you have a system to stop it.
Yeah.
Is it deep breathing? Is it self-talk? Whatever it is, can you stop it before you step out there?
Mm-hmm. Well, and so Leisa, I'm going to interview you. She's a wise one. So what are some things that you have learned in your experience that you use to stop it? I mean, I have meetings with myself all the time, like almost every day. I'm like, I had a meeting with myself, and people think, I'm like, no, literally. Like I'm like, okay, Shavonnah. And then walk through whatever it is that I have to walk through. What are some of the things that you do? Other than going to Target, which we know.
Well, I'm going to laugh because she knows this. I have a friend who said, I've never met a microphone I didn't love, describing me. And it's absolutely true. I love public speaking.
Oh.
I love being the MC. I love being the speaker. I love being in the room and being able to pay attention to everyone, whether it's 40 people or 4,000. Mm-hmm. I can see a phone come out at 1,000 feet. I mean, I love it. I love it. So I don't need the self-talk that so many people do. But if I get nervous, what I really do is I breathe. I go 6 in, 12 out, and I make noise while I'm doing it, and I repeat it 4 times. And that really just totally takes that fear away. I am more afraid of missing the teleprompter cue because I've gone off on some trail and I'm not going to say the most important thing that I'm supposed to say up there as, say, the chair of the board of the American Cancer Society. Am I going to forget to mention cancer while I'm busy entertaining you all? No, it's very serious. So that sense, I think, what do I do? I can't tell you that I keep lists because I make lists and forget to look at them, or I make them in my head and don't remember them. I think I keep my window short. You know what I mean? Like I've joked for years about not buying green bananas, but I don't plan so far that I have a problem remembering what my commitments were, number one. And number two, I always leave white space. I am going to be able to meet with you today, no matter what day it is.
Got it.
If you've got some giant opportunity for me, my strategy for any client, any company I ran, and myself was to always be opportunistic. I mean, you can have all the strategies you want, but if you can't take advantage of a great opportunity in front of you, because you can't talk to somebody for 3 weeks. I've had friends that couldn't meet with me for 6 weeks. Sorry, someone else is going to get this opportunity.
Absolutely.
Because, so I feel very strongly about keeping your eyes open and being available and not, I don't want to say getting old, but not getting,
letting it linger on.
Getting irrelevant.
Yeah.
Irrelevant. Relevance is kind of a big thing. And the older you get, that word becomes bigger and bigger. So the idea of maintaining relevance is huge. And meeting people like you and meeting people like Shavonnah. You're so intentional. I am so accidental. I would love to say
maintaining irrelevance, so I'm so using that.
Yeah. It's important.
It's important. I like that.
It's so easy. Look at all the stuff you've done. You can sit back and just go, enough. But you're not well, you're right. I'm going to think about that. Trust me. But I just can't even imagine. So in order to keep moving forward, I have to know what is moving forward.
Well, but I think what you just hit on is why the opportunities continue to come.
Right.
Because if you maintain relevance and you stay open and you leave margin and a little bit of white space, just one to think. I'm a big, I need space to think. Everyone knows I get up super early in the morning. Yeah. Dark 30, literally, no matter what time I go to bed. And I don't engage with the humans until 5 hours later. And people are like, what do you do? I'm like, get myself ready for the world. Exercise, think, meditate, devotionals, all of that. I need that, but that's white space. Because for me, that's
white space, but I also mean white space during the day.
I know what you mean.
there's certain people in my life that I can call and need something from, and it's literally 24 hours before I hear back.
Yeah, no,
That to me is just sorry.
It's kind of overscheduled. If it takes you 24 hours to respond to like a friend, especially, but any opportunity, then you're a little bit overscheduled. Yeah, you just need the white space. No, I just think
we're interviewing me now.
No, we're not interviewing you.
We're learning. It was, absolutely.
So you already kind of talked about this. So the other question was around as a first-time author.
Mm-hmm.
So you, because you have accomplished so much, you have some systems, the time blocking, your discipline around workout, work, etc.
Right.
But I was going to say, what are some of the challenges that came up that you're like, oh, I didn't realize this was going to happen. Now that I've written this book, oh, crap.
Yeah, what do I do now?
Yeah, what do I do now?
Yeah, like what were some of those like kind of surprising things that came up as you were preparing to properly publish the book?
Right.
As a first-time author.
I think because I worked with a self-publishing company, right? They were so hands-on, and they really guided me as far as, okay, once we finish the book, now we're gonna get the EIN stuff for you. We'll get the publishing ID.
Okay.
We'll put it on Amazon. We'll do all this. So that was easier for me, and connecting with them, staying relevant on them, with me too. And so then it was the planning a book launch. I'm not really big on marketing either, right? It kind of scares me. I'm like, I want to put myself out there, but I don't. I'm one of those, I am a intro extrovert. I'm fine by myself doing my own thing. And then if I have to go out, I'm going to go out. I'm going to have fun and enjoy it, but I don't have to. And so really pushing the book, it was, okay, now you have to get even more comfortable again being out there. And so it's been a journey. It's been a journey. It's still going.
It is a journey.
It is a journey. It's still going. And I'm learning that patience and time, right? Because when I do move, I'm fast paced with the franchises, with the stores, back and forth, taking care of my dad, softball. So I'm always moving. So it's throughout the day, it's very seldom that I have the white space, which is why I created at 5 a.m. Right? Because I know my days don't stop until 9:10:30, sometime after practice. So it's very important for me to kind of, when the book came out, push it right now, because I don't know when I'm going to be able to do it.
Well, I like that.
Yeah, well, but also I think now one takeaway from today is you need to build in more margin. Yeah. So figuring out how to do that. So what do you need? Because I do believe this, being opportunistic, yes. And in order to seize an opportunity, sometimes you have to let go of other things. Yeah. And I think people are afraid of that. So they want both. They want what they've had and what's new, and it doesn't work like that.
Right.
And it's being comfortable with like, okay, I'm going to take this leap like you did with the franchise, even though I don't know what it's going to be, because I have to in order to be able to fully take advantage of the opportunity, versus trying to squeeze it all in and never really feeling like you fully explored an opportunity.
Right.
So I think that's a new thing for you with this book, right? Because then people are going to want you to come and speak and be a part of this and that. Boy, you have to have space in your calendar. Don't be that lady that Leisa said it takes 3 weeks to book something with you.
And be okay with having a good friend group, right?
Yeah.
Because Shavonnah, I've met Leisa too. It's so important that you surround yourself with people that will push you, right? Because
unconditionally, they love you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're going to tell you when you're doing something wrong. They're
like
not
I did right now.
Yeah. Because she really was like, no, you have to have a book launch. You have to, because I was really kind of set on just letting it,
Well, because you finished it.
It's on Amazon.
You were done. You finished. Yeah. No,
but the book.
It's very important.
So let's talk about the book. Where can people find it?
You can find it on Amazon. It's called Yearning of Understanding. Or you can get it from my website at AlexisNmore.com, AlexisNmore.com.
And where else will you be? Do you have any other book events coming up? Or if not, when you do have them scheduled, will they be on your website?
Yes, they'll be on my website, and you can follow me on Instagram
Yes.
and Facebook at Alexis and more as well. And yes, I do plan on doing a book signing in Dallas
Oh, great.
Let
next
us
month
know.
for
We'll
domestic
pull it out there,
violence
too.
Oh,
group.
excellent.
Domestic violence group
Great.
of ladies in Dallas. And so I'll be in Dallas soon.
Okay.
Well, with that,
Super.
we're
I
going to do
think-
what?
We're going to stay focused.
We're going to stay fabulous, and we're going to stay fit.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for joining us at Friends by the Fireplace.
That was perfect. Thank you.